What is up, guys? Welcome back to another market update, and welcome back to the Ace Crypto YouTube channel. So we're going to jump straight in today with the market cap of over 1 trillion. 1.1, nearly 1.2 trillion actually, so it's looking quite healthy at the moment. The market is looking quite healthy. So if we move on down just a little bit, you can see there the Bitcoin, it did hit 25k last night. So if we just jump onto the chart real quickly, which is going to be here, it did hit over the 25k mark. So 25k was there, and we had a bit of a bigger candle there, and we closed a little bit lower. So we did hit over 25k yesterday. So this is looking very bullish for the crypto market in general. As you can see there, the money flow is starting to dwindle a little bit. So I do see us dipping, and probably sticking in between these two supports and resistances there. There's still not a lot really going on. There's not a lot you can actually count on. There's been a few pumps here and there. If we just jump over to the crypto bubbles, you can see here. So I made a little bit off Doge last night. I did put some money into Doge. I knew it was going to pump up a little bit through some insider knowledge. So make sure you keep it up and following, because you can make a profit just like this yourself. So I think I put $600 in. I think I ended up with $700 back. So it was a good return, $100. Happy with that. So moving back over to the crypto, we've got Ethereum 2000 today. Wow. So Ethereum is doing very, very well today by the looks of it. $2,000. Very, very bullish for Ethereum. Obviously, there's a lot of interesting things that have just been happening with the Ethereum fork. We will go over shortly. And as you can see there, Cardano overtaking XRP again. So this is just a jostle basically for number 6. Binance USD as well. So these three are always jostling for position. Always up, down, left and right. Nobody really knows where they're going to lie. Obviously, we do think XRP is obviously going to end up, higher than Cardano in the future anyway. So Solana's having a bit of a pump, 18% over the past 7 days. So that's doing pretty well. Polkadot. So it's been a Polkadot hack as of recent. So we will look into that. 24-hour pump there, 7%, which is, can't shunt away from a 7% gain, guys. Can't shunt away from a 7% gain. So moving on down, Avalanche doing very well there, 12% over the past 7 days. Matic obviously doing very well. Tron, I'm not too sure why Tron is starting to move a little bit. We'll have to look into that a little bit further. Yep, so that's good. Let's move on over to crypto bubbles. So Sheeb, 24% on Sheeb. Wow. Not too sure why Sheeb is pumping so much over the past 24 hours. So we got Gala Games. The reason why Gala's pumping is obviously due to the Gala film nodes. So this is a very, very interesting idea. I really like it, to be honest with you. I think decentralized film, brilliant idea. As long as it's controlled and, censored to a certain degree. Let's be honest, you don't want everyone to be able to see everything. Let's be honest, there's some pretty severe things out there on the internet, and some pretty sick-ass people. So, decentralized film, I like, I really do like the idea of the decentralized nodes. You can obviously use, I think it's about 18k for a Gala node at the moment, which isn't terrible, really, in the long grand scheme of things. So moving back over to the crypto bubbles, where else have we got? Sand moving, Matic, Hex. Hex, obviously Richard Hart's been doing the rounds lately. You've seen him on BitBoy Crypto and a few other things. Engine's looking very good. ADA obviously pumped a little bit. GMT, so Stepan is obviously moving a little bit too. I'm not too sure why Stepan is moving, but it seems to be. Algorand and XRP. I do expect an XRP pump coming next week, starting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday time. I do expect a little bit of an XRP pump. So, if you do want to buy now and sell later, there's always a bit of a trade there. So Celsius obviously moving very well as well. So they want to bring the price of Celsius back up so people can actually get their money back out. Quant's got a mini pump as well. We do love a bit of Quant. What's Quant on today? 126. That's about right. So moving on to the charts, we've already done that more or less. We did go up to the 25k, we couldn't hold, and we came back down. We tried to make a new resistance, but we couldn't obviously make one. So we dropped down to the previous resistance where we are now. So we're going to basically pump between these support and resistances for the next couple of hours, I would imagine. Maybe a little bit of a further drop. Let's have a look, see if we can see anything on the 1 hour maybe. Move that down a little bit. Yeah, so we're just going to consolidate, really. Just going to consolidate between these ranges. Obviously, we did hit 25k, which is looking very bullish. So, moving on to some news. 3 biggest stories from the past week in the crypto space. So, these are the 3 biggest stories, essentially. Number 1 being the US Treasury sanctioning Tornado Cash. That's the big one. Ethereum proof of stake transition to happen mid-September. So, yeah, basically, we've got a confirmation 15th of September. Tornado Cash, not looking good for them. They're shutting down all their DAOs and everything. So, I don't even know how you pronounce that. The Gorley test merge. So yeah, basically this is part of the Ethereum test network. Ethereum developers testnet merge on Wednesday. This marks the final dress rehearsal of the mainnet merge. So it's coming thick and fast, guys. Thick and fast. So this is probably why Ethereum has pumped up to $2,000 over the past 24 hours. Is normally due to some form of work being done on the merger of the blockchain. So that is the future of crypto, and that is the past week of crypto, essentially. So we got Bitcoin, so we got Tornado Cash, and the BlackRock thing. So BlackRock, obviously, with the partnership with Coinbase, very, very, very big news. Mass institutional money come into Bitcoin. So moving on, FTX and Paradigm join forces to unveil crypto futures spread trading. So if you guys want to know what is spread trading, it's a little bit of a write-up right there. Spread trading is simultaneously buying and selling of two related futures contracts. For example, if you bought BTC USD in September contract and Bitcoin and USD in December contract, you would have a spread trade. Very interesting there. In a spread trade, you are trading the price differences between two contracts. In a spread position, you would want the long side of the spread to increase in value relative to the short side or vice versa. So that is basically a quick sum up of what futures spread trading is. So basically, Sam Bankman-Fried is trying to give access to pretty much all types of trading to the average Joe, essentially. You know what I mean? So it's very, very good, very, very bullish. I really like what Sam Bankman-Fried is doing. So, you know, he's big on arbitrage, essentially. Arbitrage, buying and selling in different places, essentially. So, you know, buying low and selling high, obviously, on different markets. So he's really big into that, and I'm glad that he is pushing the futures trading spreads. Moving on. Coinbase warns Polygon and other scaling solutions pose a threat to Ethereum. Let's move on down and see what's going on with this one. The future of Layer 2s could very well be a zero-sum game, as which L2 houses the majority of decentralized applications could one day power the entirety of the Ethereum ecosystem. That suggests that Layer 2s could eventually divert revenue away from Ethereum itself. So it's quite an interesting one. So Coinbase says over the past 12 months, scaling solutions such as Polygon and Optimism and Arbitrum have generated less than 1% of the revenue pulled in by Ethereum. So if we move on down, you can see this is the log scale, obviously, for different blockchains. So we've got Polygon, Optimism, and Arbitrum down the bottom there. Solana, Avalanche, BUSD, so that's a Binance Smart Chain, and Ethereum there. So what they basically mean with this one, see if we can find out where it was. If more user activity migrates to Layer 2s, and those Layer 2s require their own tokens to facilitate transactions, this could potentially reduce the stake yield to validators who will earn less on those net transaction fees. So basically what they're saying there is if you have to use their own tokens, like the Matic token for instance, then you're not going to be staking on the Ethereum blockchain as much, essentially, or the rewards are not going to be as much, because there's not going to be as much validation required on the blockchain, essentially. This could increase the size of ETH liquidity circulating supply, possibly hurting the ETH supply, the price. Interesting. So this could be an interesting one. I don't think this is anything to worry about yet, to be honest with you, because there's going to be a lot of scaling needs to happen before any of this actually comes into fruition, in my own personal opinion. If Layer 2s facilitate more transactions by making them cheaper, faster, and easier, revenue impact could be mitigated by the increased activity that eventually takes place on the network. Eventually, exactly. So it's nothing to worry about yet, guys, but it's just something to be, concerned about in the future, you know? That these roll-ups and these Layer 2s might just take over a lot of the brunt of the actual smart chain. So Sol goes on the rise. I mean, not massive amount of rise, but it has risen. So basically what they're talking about here is mainly all the activity that's on Solana at the moment. Several tokens have expanded in activity as of late. Stepan, GMT, I mean, do we really agree with Stepan? Behind Stepan is SRM token. So that's been traded a lot. Basically, it's found a lot of its niche with the NFT marketplaces as well. So as you can see here, this is talking about wallets. No, it's not. It's talking about users with over 30,000 users a day. Okay. Yeah, so basically that's the volume on the past 24 hours of these big projects. So it's big projects, but it's worth pointing out, however, NFT sales on Solana dropped by 25% over the past week. So Solana is looking good for NFTs. It's kind of found its niche there. The Solana Nakamoto coefficient over time. Interesting. Yeah, so this is basically saying the Solana's looking very bullish for the future, realistically, as long as it keeps up the network, because the network seriously needs more, not security essentially, but more uptime, more durability. Let's call it durability. So moving on down, Polygon had a bit of a hack. Arcala, the decentralized hub of the Polygon network, has suffered major security breach. Is vote to pause operations. Probably a good idea now that there's a hack on the cards. The hacker's wallet holds nearly 750,000 USD. AUSD tokens, actually. So the problem is at the moment is this another Terra? No, it's not, guys. I very much doubt it. Polygon, not Polygon. Pokadot, sorry. Pokadot's a very, very strong community and very strong project, so I very much doubt that this would depeg for very long, although there would have been some good money to be made. It dropped almost 50%, 44%, so there would have been some good money to be made on there in the last 24 hours, but I don't think this is going to be a real problem. The fact that the AUSD stablecoin is over-collateralized sets it apart from the failed algorithmically backed UST stablecoin. So basically, this is a lot more reliable than Terra Luna was ever going to be. So moving on. This one's interesting. I basically expect that the merge is going to be not priced in, even though Vitalik Buterin said about 4 weeks ago that is going to be priced in. So we'll have to see. So we might see a big ass Ethereum move in price, probably to the upside, because a lot of people are going to be staking their Ethereum, which means it's going to be a more scarce asset, which therefore the price should push the price up. So I do expect a bit of a price pump when Ethereum obviously moves to proof of stake. Bitcoin will demonize gold, says Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, the ex-CEO of MicroStrategist, what's he saying? Gold was metallic money for the 19th century, he says, but he don't think it's going to be adopted for the 21st century. The thing about it is, you got places like China and Russia basically using gold and other things to back their new CBDCs. So to say that not many people are going to be using gold in the future is a bit of a false statement, I do think. An investor has predicted the spot-based Bitcoin exchange trade fund might come in a year from now. ETF. So Bitcoin ETFs. They are coming, guys. They are coming. They are definitely coming. He sees large cryptocurrencies emerging as institutional investment-grade assets that will be embraced by major investors, regulators, and legislators. So this is the future, guys. This is the future. He's talking about basically how Bitcoin is going to be used as a store of wealth now. It's going to be used as a store of wealth. Speaking out the broader crypto market, Saylor says the great deal of bad behavior, which has been flushed out, he still believes there are plenty of unregulated securities. So there is unregulated securities out there, but hopefully when we get some clarity, these will all be phased out pretty quickly, or even go to the securities marketplace, which it is building at the moment for a securities marketplace. Why Celsius and Voyager are more like unsecured quasi-banks. So quasi, if you guys didn't know, basically means like. So it's an unassured bank-like thing. It's not quite a bank, but it's like a bank, or likes to pretend it's a bank. So basically what they're saying here is how how they're basically running themselves as more unsecured banks than they are exchanges and asset managers, essentially. So Celsius and Voyager, thing about it, if we move on down, there's a good little sentence I will find down here. Who needs deposit insurance? So crypto exchange companies market themselves as platforms to buy, for users to buy and sell crypto, but they also function like stockbrokers, and more concerningly, their core business models quite closely resemble a banking. So basically, you know, obviously it resembles banking because they hold your coins essentially. So traditional exchanges like New York Stock Exchange rarely go bankrupt, and since they do not offer account services, if they do go bankrupt, their clients are not on the hook for any losses. The problem is when you put your money on places like Voyager and Celsius, they hold your assets, and what they can do is if they go bankrupt, they can then use your assets to basically pay off their creditors. So it's a bit of an issue, you know, a bit of an issue. We need to see more regulation come in with these types of things, and we need to see more security, especially for lossless or loss prevention things in these big what would you call them? You know, exchanges, brokers, bankers. You know, they're all the bloody same thing. So risky is risk. So hopefully we'll have some more clarity on this in the future, and hopefully we'll be able to have some back into for our crypto when it's obviously locked on exchanges or asset managers like this. So moving on. ALM and KYC. So anti-money laundering and know your customer, a catalyst for mainstream adoption. So basically what this one's talking about is we need regulation, and we need what would you call it, you know? What would you call it? Translucence, you know? And basically being able to see through everything, being able to verify everything, that everything is correct, essentially. So KYC, know your customer. So basically exchanges and stuff know who you are. You are exactly who you say you are. You're not someone pretending to be someone else. And AML, anti-money laundering. So this is a really big one. Money laundering is a very, very big thing. This is why Tornado Cash has been obviously sanctioned so heavily the past couple of days, because it's known as a blender or a mixer. So what this does is it puts your cryptocurrency in and it flicks it all over the internet and buys and sells and basically mixes it up with a lot of other people's until you can't decide whose is what and where it's come from. So money laundering at its best. NFTs have a lot of money laundering too. It's easier than you think to money launder through NFTs. So the sooner we have KYC and anti-money laundering implementation, it's going to be safer for mass adoption. You know, it's going to be less phishing scams and a lot less scams in general out there. A lot less illegal money flowing through the system, and a lot more registered people on the blockchain. So this is bullish, guys. Very, very bullish. So that's all we really have time for today, I think. We've done the Gala Games thing. Yep, Gala Nodes are very bullish for that on the future. I really, really like Gala Games. I think they are really pushing for a really, really good future. So thank you very much for following today, guys. Make sure you're jumping over to the Twitter. Make sure you're following and liking on the YouTube. Much appreciated. We are moving with the followers. And we go live on TikTok every single day. So if you are on TikTok and you do want to jump over and follow, I'd be much appreciated. So thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.